Hello everyone, welcome to our channel of meetings assistance for Jehovah's Witnesses. I hope you are all doing well. In this new video, we will be preparing for the Let's Be Better Teachers section for the week of June 23rd to 29th. I hope this will be of great help to many of you. Let's begin. Well, let's start with, start conversations. Informal preaching. Without talking about the Bible right away, find a natural way to let the person know that you are a Jehovah's Witness. Hello. What a nice day, right? This park always has such a peaceful atmosphere. Hello. Yes, it really does. I come here quite often, it's one of the few places where I can relax for a while. And you? Same, I really enjoy coming here. Sometimes I just sit and think or read a little. With everything going on in the world, it's always good to have moments of calm. Do you ever feel like the world is just too hectic? Yes, that's true. With everything we see on the news, sometimes it's hard not to feel a bit overwhelmed. The political problems, the economy, and all that. People seem to be getting more and more tense. I try not to think too much about it, but it's hard. I completely understand. It's easy to feel that way with so much uncertainty. How do you manage to stay calm amidst all that? Well, I try to disconnect a little. Like I said, I come to the park or listen to music, something to distract myself. But sometimes, I feel like that's not enough, like that sense of worry is always there. It's hard to find lasting peace, right? I've thought about that too, and sometimes I meet people who feel the same. It's interesting how something as simple as taking a moment to reflect can help us see things differently. I'm a Jehovah's Witness, and in our community, we share ideas about how to find peace despite difficulties. Have you ever been curious about that kind of thing? Well, I've always heard things about Jehovah's Witnesses, but I've never had a deep conversation with one. What you're saying about peace sounds interesting. It's always good to hear new perspectives. I'm glad you're interested. The truth is, one of the things we learn is that, even in difficult times, there is always hope. If you ever want to hear more about this, I'd be happy to talk more with you. It doesn't have to be now, of course, just whenever you have time. Sure, I'd like to know more. The truth is, I need to find ways to deal with everything that's going on. Maybe we can talk more another day. Perfect. Then, we'll see each other next time. Have a good day and I hope you find a moment of peace today. Now, let's move on to, conduct return visits. Informal preaching. In a previous conversation, the person mentioned they like nature. Hello. Great to see you again. How have you been? Hello. I've been well, thanks. I've been reflecting a bit on what we talked about last time, about nature, and all that. That's great. I'm glad to hear you've been thinking about it. What conclusions have you come to, if you don't mind me asking? Well, yes. Like I said, sometimes I think nature has something special, like it has a purpose, but I don't know what it is. It really makes me think a lot, especially when I come to the park. It's something that brings me peace. It's true, nature has something unique that makes us feel calm. And sometimes, when we're surrounded by so much noise, a peaceful place like this helps us find some peace. Do you think that feeling of peace would be something you'd like to have more often in your daily life? Yes, of course. Sometimes, with all the stress from work and worries, it's hard to find that calm outside of moments like this. But I'm not sure if I can always find something that helps me maintain that peace long term. I understand what you're saying. Sometimes, we seek that calm only in specific moments or places, but what if I told you that there's something else that can give you constant peace, even when you're not in a peaceful place like this? What do you mean? Like meditating or something like that? Yes, something like that. In fact, the Bible talks a lot about how we can find peace, and not just in isolated moments, but in our daily lives. For me, learning what the Bible says about peace has helped me see life in a different way. It has given me a broader perspective on the purpose of life and creation, something beyond everyday circumstances. That sounds interesting. I hadn't thought about it that way. But, how could something like that help me in my life now? Well, sometimes we focus so much on the problems of everyday life that we forget there's something bigger that can give us direction and hope. For example, the Bible teaches that there's a purpose for everything around us, and that gives us the peace of mind that we're not here by accident. If we understand that, we can live with more purpose, and that makes our life have a deeper meaning. Can you imagine what it would be like to have that perspective in your daily life? Yes. It sounds like something I would like to have. Sometimes I feel like life is just a series of things to do, but I don't see much beyond that. Having a clearer purpose sounds good. Of course, it's a feeling that many of us have experienced. Knowing there's a greater purpose can change how we face everyday challenges. And it's something that can help you not only in the present but also in the future. If you ever want to know more about how the Bible can give us that clarity, I'd love to talk with you again. Would you like that? Yes, I'd definitely like that. Maybe we can talk more next time. I'm open to hearing more. That's great. Let's set up another day to talk more about it. I'd love for you to explore those ideas. I hope you continue to enjoy the peace that nature gives you. Now let's move on to talk. Title: God has a name. Many of us, in our daily lives, use terms like God, Lord, or Creator to refer to Him, but did you know that He has a personal name that has been revealed in the Scriptures? This aspect is crucial for understanding our relationship with Him and how He wants to be known by us. What do the Scriptures say about God's name? The Bible makes it clear that God has a name. In Psalm 83:18, we read, "Let men know that you, to whom alone the name of Jehovah is appropriate, are the Most High over all the earth." Here, the psalmist speaks of Jehovah as the exclusive name of God, the name that belongs to Him. In some ancient texts, this name is translated as YHWH, Yahweh, and in many modern translations, it is preserved as Jehovah or Yahweh. This verse is a clear reminder that God's name is not just a title, but a special way to recognize His sovereignty above all else. He is not simply God as a general title, but has a unique, personal name. Additionally, in Jeremiah 10:10, the prophet gives us an important revelation about the nature of God when he says, "But Jehovah is the true God, He is the living God and the eternal King. At His wrath the earth trembles, and the nations cannot endure His indignation." This verse emphasizes that Jehovah is not an abstract or distant God, but a living, personal being with whom we can have a relationship. His name reveals much about His character, power, and relationship with us. Why is it important to know God's name? In many cases, it is thought that God's name is not relevant to worship or that the different names used in the Bible are just synonyms. However, knowing and using God's name has a profound impact on our relationship with Him. When we speak to someone by their name, we are recognizing their identity. Imagine speaking to someone in general terms, like my friend or my boss, but never using their name. That would make the relationship feel distant and less personal. With God, it's the same. By knowing His name, we bring Him closer to our daily life and show respect for His unique identity. Using God's name in Christian life. The Bible not only teaches us that God has a name, but also invites us to use it. In the prayer that Jesus taught His disciples, known as the Lord's Prayer, He starts by saying, "Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name." Here, we see that Jesus Himself recognized the importance of honoring God's name. Additionally, in Exodus 3:15, God Himself gives Moses clear instruction about how His name should be invoked. "This is my name forever, and by it I will be called from generation to generation." It is an open invitation for all who seek God to do so personally, using His name. God's name, a point of unity. In the modern world, religious beliefs are diverse, but God's name acts as a unifying point for those who seek the truth. When we use the name of Jehovah, we are recognizing not only His power but also His desire to be close to us. Let us remember that in the Bible, in places like Romans 10:13, it tells us that everyone who calls on the name of Jehovah will be saved. This is an act of faith and trust that He is the only one who can guide us to salvation. Conclusion. To conclude, we have seen that God has a name that reflects His power, His majesty, and His closeness to us. By knowing this name, we can draw closer to Him, knowing that we have a personal God who is not far away but desires an intimate relationship with each of us. The name of Jehovah is something we should respect and honor. As we learn in the Scriptures, by calling on this name with reverence and love, we are strengthening our relationship with Him and acknowledging His sovereignty over all things. By living according to His will and remembering His name in our prayers, we can experience lasting peace, knowing that the true God is with us, guiding us, and helping us every step of the way. May we all remember, with gratitude and respect, the name of Jehovah, and may that inspire us to live in a way that honors His name. Well, These were the examples of the presentations for this week's Let's Be Better Teachers section. I hope they are of great help to you, my dear brothers and sisters. Sending a big hug, and may Jehovah always bless and protect you.